Yuri and Tsukasa discuss Yuri's feelings for his new maid Lilith. And though Yuri has trouble explaining how he is feeling, Tsukasa loves his budding romance. She is determined to get them closer and asks Yuri what he knows about his maid. Yuri finds Lilith suspicious with her purple eyes, her sudden appearance at the mansion, and her skill at cooking and cleaning. Tsukasa almost cannot contain herself when Yuri states that he can't stop thinking about Lilith, and that he never wants her to leave his side. Yuri wonders if he is seriously sick. Tsukasa tells him he is definitely sick, and that sickness is love. Yuri is shocked by her words, and as he heads home he wonders what love is. Lilith greets him excitedly, but a troubled Yuri ignores her as he feels conflicted about his conversation with Tsukasa. And even teasing him, Lilith is unable to get him to respond. Lilith is worried that Yuri has lost interest in her, and she keeps teasing him about taking baths together. But he still doesn't respond, and she grows concerned that he might be sick with some illness. He tells her he might be sick with something, but before he tells her it is love, he runs away. At school the next day, Yuri asks Tsukasa to help him understand what love is, and she brings him to her mansion after class. Tsukasa lives a pampered life with many servants, and as they discuss his situation over tea time, Yuri feels jealous of Tsukasa's family, her servants, and her peaceful life, which remind him of everything he lost. But Tsukasa comforts him and reminds him that he has a wonderful maid in his employ, which helps to cheer him up. To help him understand love better, Tsukasa tries to lend him her large collection of romance novels, but is stopped by Fujisaki. Later, Yuri has an assignment to draw a subject, and he asks Lilith if he can draw her, but when he starts she soon grows embarrassed. She tries to pose, but Yuri asks her to sit in an elegant position, and as he draws she remarks that maybe she isn't the person he thinks she is. Yuri finishes his drawing but immediately erases it because his art doesn't capture her beauty well enough, and he works overtime to draw her even more. After several hours, Lilith takes a tired Yuri to bed. She offers him headpats and music to help him sleep, but he asks if she can stay with him, to which she reluctantly agrees. While Yuri has grown fond of Lilith, he is hurt that she keeps so many secrets from him. And in response, Lilith sings him to sleep with a lullaby with the same melody his mother used to sing for him. Yuri wakes up the next morning refreshed but remembering little about the night before. He continues to work on his drawing, which helps him to win his school's competition. Later, Yuri dreams a half-remembered memory of playing with a girl in a garden, when he is awoken by his Lilith. She has decided to use her day off to spend the morning with him, and Yuri ponders his dream. Yuri is later shocked to see Lilith in casual wear as she is planning to go into town for her day off. She spends her time walking and sampling baked goods. However, she can't help but feel worried about Yuri, and she meets up with Fujisaki at a cafe. Fujisaki tells her to relax, and Lilith wonders if the butler worries about Tsukasa while she is gone. Fujisaki isn't worried about Tsukasa, and Lilith wonders if this is because of the years-long bond the butler shares with her master. And Lilith is worried about her relationship with Yuri. Lilith is surprised that Fujisaki had become a butler, and that meeting Tsukasa must have changed her because she used to be a delinquent in high school. Fujisaki advises Lilith that if she wants to deepen her bond with Yuri, she will need to reveal her secrets to him. But Fujisaki encourages and says that she has already become a more open person compared to high school. Fujisaki is summoned and leaves, with Yuri watching them suspiciously. Yuri stalked Lilith throughout her day into the cafe because he was worried, and while at the cafe he hears a lullaby that shocks him. That evening, Yuri confronts Lilith about her conversation with Fujisaki, and that he overheard that she had something important she needed to share. Yuri feels hurt that Lilith is keeping secrets from him, such as the fact that they had met each other in the past. As when Yuri heard the lullaby, he started to recall half-remembered memories of a girl with purple eyes who was brought to the mansion. Lilith reveals that she wanted to keep her secrets as she felt that he had forgotten everything about her, and Yuri promises he will do everything he can to remember. The next day, Lilith finds Yuri in the garden looking at the different flowers in an effort to remember his memories of her. Lilith, who remembers that day in their past well, grows embarrassed. Tsukasa senses that Yuri is in a good mood, as he and Lilith have started to open up each other. He tells her they have already slept with each other, and Tsukasa misunderstands him. However, Tsukasa quickly realizes that Yuri still doesn't seem to realize he is in love, and she encourages him to open up about his feelings. Yuri heads home immediately with growing understanding of his own feelings, and that his suspicion of Lilith might actually be love. He arrives home and confesses to Lilith that he loves her eyes, her singing, and everything about her. She is shocked, but they are interrupted by another maid named Natsume that calls her a traitor. Natsume has arrived to finally take Lilith back to her mansion. Lilith introduces Natsume as a former coworker and classmate. Lilith tells Natsume that she had already refused in writing to come back, but Natsume angrily states that she isn't receiving any pay, the mansion is a dump, and her master is just a child, and that this situation cannot continue. Yuri, who has just realized his feelings, tries to argue against Natsume, but he recognizes that his financial situation is very poor. Lilith cuts in, stating that no matter how many letters are sent, she won't return. Natsume refuses to let Lilith go, and she refuses to believe that Lilith is picking Yuri over her, so she decides to test Yuri's capability as a master. Natsume tests Yuri's intelligence, but although Yuri fails her question, Natsume also fails her own question. She then tests his financial knowledge, and he acknowledges though he is poor at the moment, he will be working hard to save up to provide for him and Lilith. Natsume also fails because she is also broke. In her anger, she knocks over a lamp, and Yuri is concerned that she could get hurt by stray glass. And an embarrassed Natsume feels like this is a trick and that Yuri is using kindness as a weapon against both her and Lilith. She tries again to persuade Lilith to leave, but Lilith appeals to their friendship as former classmates to respect her choices, and Natsume reluctantly agrees. Yuri remembers Tsukasa's words about love, and he asks Natsume if she is in love with Lilith. She denies it, but after he states that he loves Lilith a lot, she admits that she too loves Lilith. And that's why she came all this way and is trying so hard to get her come back. Lilith apologizes to Natsume for causing her so much worry, but she still won't return. Natsume decides to spend a few days at the mansion to observe how Yuri is treating Lilith, such as seeing how many chores she needs to do to take care of the mansion all by herself. Natsume sees that Lilith is working a lot all by herself to keep the mansion clean and maintained, and she worries that Lilith isn't getting enough rest. When Yuri arrives after school, she is shocked with how friendly they treat each other, and she starts to have doubts about bringing Lilith back, as she seems happy at Yuri's mansion. At dinner, Yuri wonders if Natsume actually is a maid because she doesn't seem the type of person that does maid tasks. She tries to prove herself but fails at every task, and then accidentally dumps water on both herself and Lilith. Lilith reveals that Natsume really is a maid, but she was very clumsy, so the two of them often had to help each other. As they clean up, Lilith thanks Natsume for coming, as it was a good distraction for Lilith after Yuri's unexpected confession. Natsume tells her that Lilith is the happiest she has ever seen her. And since Lilith is happy, she is also happy. At school, Yuri tells Tsukasa he finally confessed to Lilith, but when he tells Tsukasa that someone new joined them, she gets the wrong idea. Tsukasa is excited to meet Natsume because she is a rival just like her romance books. Natsume has come to spy on Yuri, and when she sees Tsukasa and Yuri, she wonders if they are secretly dating. Tsukasa can only focus on the love triangle and is dragged away by Fujisaki, who is recognized by Natsume as a dangerous delinquent. Natsume greets Yuri and walks him home, stating that she will probably be leaving soon. They run into random thugs on the road, and she prevents them from beating him up. Back at the mansion, they argue about Lilith's best qualities, and Lilith is embarrassed to be caught in the middle. They decide to plan a surprise Christmas party for Lilith because it is close to the holidays, and Yuri will prepare the mansion while Natsume distracts her by taking her into town. Yuri tells Tsukasa the plan, and Tsukasa goes overboard with too many romantic ideas. Instead, Yuri asks for her help for the actual party. The day of the party, Lilith is concerned about leaving Yuri alone, but agrees to go into town with Natsume. After the maids leave, Tsukasa and Fujisaki come to help decorate the mansion and prepare food for the party. Yuri feels like Tsukasa is really lucky to have a butler like Fujisaki, as he watches their close relationship. Meanwhile in town, Natsume tries to distract Lilith, but she just ends up hurting herself. They recover in a park, and Natsume tries to confess to Lilith but is interrupted when Lilith thanks her for the day out, as it helps lift her spirit for the holidays. They have a good time in town, and Natsume gives Lilith a pen for a Christmas present, as she will be heading home soon and she would like Lilith to write to her. Natsume is shocked to see how well the mansion is decorated, and she runs in after Lilith, but is caught in a surprise of her own. Yuri could not keep a secret from Lilith, so the surprise party ended up being a surprise for Natsume. They celebrate Christmas until Tsukasa and Natsume fall asleep, with Yuri leaving a note for Natsume thanking her for spending time with them during the holidays. After the mansion has been cleaned up after the holidays, Natsume and Yuri are returning from a shopping trip, and Natsume thanks Yuri for helping her become more open with her feelings, though she still denies she loves Lilith. Meanwhile, Lilith answers the door one day to see her old master. He has come to check up on Natsume and to see how Lilith is doing. Lilith apologizes for the trouble she has caused, and the master is just happy to see that she is doing well and is maintaining Yuri's mansion well. Lilith reveals that when she became an orphan, Yuri's parents opened their home to her and took her in. She also met a young Yuri at this time. After a year at the mansion, she went to an academy for servants with Yuri's parents' blessing. And when she graduated, she started working at the old master's mansion. But then she heard news of Yuri's parents' death, and she felt she had to return to Yuri. Natsume and Yuri arrive back from shopping and are introduced to the old master. Yuri thinks that he has come to take Lilith away and defends her, but the old master is just happy to see Lilith is doing well. Natsume then leaves with the old master. At dinner, Lilith and Yuri feel the mansion has become a lot quieter as they both miss Natsume's presence. They decide to go into town the next day to brighten their spirits, and Yuri loves Lilith's casual dress. They are spotted by Fujisaki and Tsukasa, and Tsukasa wants to stalk them but is stopped by the butler, who says that they should give them the space they deserve. After spending time in a cafe, Lilith and Yuri go to visit the graves of Yuri's parents. Yuri hopes that wherever they are doing well, and when Lilith is alone, she promises she will try her best to take care of Yuri in their memory. That night they enjoy the holiday lights in town, and Yuri confesses to Lilith again as it starts to snow. Yuri tells Lilith that he may not know exactly what love is and what he feels for her, but no matter what, he wants to have a future with her. Lilith tells him that she can't yet give him an answer, but she will stay forever by his side no matter what happens. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.